Right, hello everybody. So, who should you pick from the Lantern Rite 4-star chooser? Obviously Xingqiu. That's the end. Bye-bye. Have fun. Yeah, as you can see, I went for Xingqiu, and there's good reasons why I did that, but he might not be the right one for you. It depends. But fundamentally, it breaks down like this. Obviously, just a little quick caveat here. If you are playing Genshin and you've already got loads of great characters and you just want whichever fun one you want, maybe you've been a bit unlucky or you haven't rolled on the current banners, you want a copy of gaming, that's great. Go for gaming. However, if you don't fit into that category and you actually want to make your account as strong as you possibly can, there are some things to consider. So basically, it obviously does depend on the state of your account. My free-to-play account, which is the account that we're looking at the moment, has been desperately in need of Xingqiu. He is the most busted 4-star in the game. I'm 100% sure. He's one of the most busted characters in the game. So for that reason, as I didn't have a single copy of him, he was obviously the one to go for. If you haven't got Xiangling at C4, if you're at C3 and you've got Xingqiu at C2 or above already, go for Xiangling. Simple. If you've already got Xiangling at C4 and Xingqiu at C2, then you should go for Yao Yao. And unless you really want to do some niche Geo type thing with Yungjin, or I mean, obviously if you love a character, then you go for what you love. That's the key here. But if you want to build a strong account, you want to concentrate on Xiangling and Xingqiu, and then maybe add a side of Yao Yao in. The nice thing about Yao Yao is she doesn't need constellations. She's great at C0. So if you've already got a copy of her, I'd stop there. My main account has got C6 Gaming, C6 Xiangling, C6 Beidou, C6 Xingqiu. I think I'm on C4 or 5 with Yanfei, but I don't really use her. Yungjin, don't really use her. She's at C3 anyway. You've got C6 of Xinyan. I've got C6 Chongyun, and I've got C3, I think, of Ningguang, but I don't use her again. So for me, I'm going to get my C5 Yao Yao up to C6. That's what I'll be doing on the main account. On this account, however, I already had C4 Xiangling, so getting my first copy of Xingqiu is a fantastic idea. So that's what I'd recommend. And let me show you why he is so good. Basically, Xingqiu's kit, and bearing in mind that I do not have him built properly here, so I've got the sacrificial sword. It's only an R1, because that's as many copies as have come out of the gacha so far. I will R5 it before I keep a second copy, because R5 sacrificial sword on Xingqiu is a cracking weapon. Great stuff. Artifacts wise, Emblem of Severed Fate, because is awesome. And then you just want as much crit rate, crit damage, and energy recharge, definitely north of 200%. You want to, you really want it as high as humanly possible, because his burst is what does the damage, although his skill does have quite a lot of utility, as I will show you. So if I just let one of these dudes over here hit me, come on, give me a whack. You'll see it'll do about, there you go, 1500 damage. Now watch. Oh, only just a whisker over 1000 damage. Why is that? Because those rain swords are not only helping to heal him a bit when they break, but they're reducing the damage that he takes. See, now the next hit will be 1500. And he's got talent level, so what do we got here? We've got talent level 5 on the rain swords, and he gets a bonus damage reduction based on his hydro, his percentage of hydro damage that he has, and he's only got 42.8% because the goblet is not fully leveled. So when I level this up, he'll do just shy of 50% damage reduction, which is bonkers when you think about it, isn't it? I mean, that's just, crazy stuff. His burst creates these rain swords. They apply an enormous amount of hydro, and also now he's getting the damage reduction and interruption resistance as well. And when the rain swords go away, they will create a little bit of healing for him. Basically 6% of his HP per sword, which is, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but actually it's not bad. The rain swords are triggered every time the active character does a normal attack, and that's honestly one of the things that makes him so great. He synergizes with any character that will do normal attacks, which, as it turns out, is a lot of characters, and even the ones that don't. People that tend to steer clear of normal attacks, like, say, Navia or Neuvillette. Now, with Neuvillette, he doesn't pair very well. You're going to get the damage reduction, you get a little bit of healing. It is the interruption resistance if you've got pre-C1 Neuvillette, and also the fact that you then get Hydro Resonance, which gives you a bit of extra HP, which means extra damage for Neuvillette. So you could still pair him with Neuvillette and it wouldn't be an awful idea. And that's the point with Xingqiu. You can put him in almost any team, and there are some teams that he just makes work that otherwise wouldn't work at all. Yeah. If you don't have Xingqiu, you want to get Xingqiu. I have been diligently saving up my Star Glitter. Am I going to get C1 Beidou? No, I am not, because she gets a little bit of a shield. It's just C1 Beidou, not worth it. I'm going to get C1 Xingqiu. I'm going to hope to pick up another copy of him either through the gacha or if he's on banner again, or worst case scenario, in March he'll be here, so I should get C1 then at least, and then I'll wait 6 months, I'll save up my Star Glitter and I'll get C2. C2 for Xingqiu is fantastic stuff. C1 will increase his rain swords from 3 to 4, it's a little bit extra healing, it's a little bit more durability on the damage reduction if you're just using the skill rather than the burst, because the rain swords don't go away with the burst, whereas with the skill, every time you take damage, they do. But C2, that's the important one. Firstly, it's going to reduce the hydro resistance of anyone hit by the sword rain attacks. And on top of that, and that is good, by the way, but on top of that, you're going to get an extra 3 seconds of those rain swords, which is just... It is a fantastic constellation for him, and if it takes me 7 months to get that, I don't care. I'm gonna have it, because it is not as important as Zhangling's C4, which gives her 40% extra duration on her Pyronado burst. That is, for her, more pivotal, because actually in a lot of rotations, Xingqiu's 15 seconds is more or less okay compared to 18 seconds, whereas this takes her Pyronado from, I think it's 10 seconds to 14 seconds. Is that right? Yeah, it takes it from 10 seconds to 14 seconds, which is a significant percentage increase in the damage she does with that thing. It's not essential, but it makes her work a lot better in a lot of rotations, whereas with Xingqiu you don't get the same utility from having extra length, because quite often what will actually happen, like I use him with Cookie's Grass Ring Electrification, is going to have run out before Xingqiu's Rain Swords are finished. Basically, it doesn't matter if he has the extra 3 seconds or not. I'd still say it's worth having, and there are teams where it will make more of a difference. That's it. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of the wet book nerd, as he's called. He's one of those characters that... How do I put this? I could use him in any team, and almost every team I put him in is improved. I could put him in this team instead of Noelle, and it'd do more damage because I'd get vaporizes from Zhangling and Xingqiu, and Navia would probably get more crystallized shields as well. And I'd still get interruption resistance. It would be more reliable than Noelle's barely up shield. I mean, yeah, he would be an improvement there. He makes this team so much better than I had Barbara and Collet in this team before. And how do I put it? It was a bit dodge. Pre-Xingqiu, this is what my Hyperbloom team looked like. And honestly, it wasn't the best. It would be better if Collet had got some more constellations, because then she'd apply a little bit more Dendro, but not much. So without burst, it kind of goes like this. You know, and the Hyperbloom is doing some damage, but, you know, Barbara's doing like 100 damage. Oh, we killed the thing. I didn't mean to do that. Hyperbloom. It's busted. And now we just go ba-bum and bye-bye. Yeah. So, I think you get the idea, right? Instead of doing 80 damage per hit, like you get with Barbara, it's over 1,000. And he does 3 of them. And he's like got I think it's a level 5 feather at the moment. You know, he's totally not anything like at the peak of his performance. Not even nearly. And I mean, okay, so Nahida is obviously going to make this team vastly better than if I'd used Collei. But even without Collei, if I used Xingqiu on his own, he would do a meaningful amount of damage. And that's the point, really. So much better. I tell you, let's see if we can solo it with Xingqiu here. Okay, it's going to take ages to solo it, but I probably could do it. And he makes the team so much more comfortable because they don't have to worry about getting knocked back. I'm going to take a bit of healing now, if that's alright. Now we've got some Electro in there. See that? If they hadn't had the rain swords... Can we do... If we hadn't had the rain swords, we would have been knocked back, and then we'd have been knocked back again. And it wouldn't have gone well. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Hyperbloom does the heavy lifting in this team at the moment, as you would expect. But the important point here is that Xingqiu makes this team so much better. If I had to rely on Barbara, it would be a janky, quick swappy, no good. And it's not just in this sort of team. Have you heard of Raiden National? Xingqiu is a key part of that. This team is extremely powerful and can basically cope with more or less anything in the game because of the variety of elements and reactions that it has. It is a great team. His interruption resistance is actually really strong, which really makes a difference because I find, like Beidou's, I find her interruption resistance from her burst is not as good. It's a little bit, how do I put it? Not as strong.
There is no escape.
Ah, get out of there. Unbelievable.
Witness the power of Gopa. Rain outlines you. Teamwork is teamwork. That's gonna hurt in the morning.
No, I forgot to do the... Ugh, I've really messed that up. There's supposed to be a Zhangling burst going on here.
Let me lead you first. Everybody stand ready. Torn to oblivion.
Yeah, I think you get the idea. I messed up the rotation like horrifically, and yet, you know, Raiden's very strong and Zhangling is very strong, but if you don't have that interruption resistance, that damage reduction, I would have lost characters, especially, you know, fumbling the rotation on that is not a good look. It's supposed to go Xingqiu, Benny, Zhangling, and then Raiden. Just maybe pop Raiden's skill in to begin with, end with Raiden's burst, and you'll be doing vaporizes, electro charges, you've got Benny's buff operating. It's just the whole thing is just an absolute soup of reaction damage that just cuts through the enemies like a hot knife through butter. Okay, I think I've talked about Xingqiu enough. I think you get the idea. If I were you and I was lacking Xingqiu on my account, I would 100% get him, which is why I did on my free-to-play account here. And he is probably the best pickup that I could have for the account. Yeah, I mean, he's on the Lantern Rite. I mean, if you've got your Star Glitter ready for the next nab, you can never have too much Xingqiu. I'm a bit of a Xingqiu fan. And the funny thing is, when I first started playing the game about, over a year ago now, I got Xingqiu and I didn't really like his design, and I found him a bit, didn't really like the way he played. I sort of noticed that he did seem to be quite handy, but then I just sort of put him on the shelf and I didn't use him for 6 months. And actually, my account started to really get somewhere in terms of being able to clear content comfortably and quickly and easily once I built him, because he was the missing piece of the puzzle, and he's usually the missing piece of the puzzle, which is why I wanted to create this little public service announcement about how awesome he is. Well, I hope you've all enjoyed today's video and found it fun and interesting. If you have, remember to leave a like and share it and subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care, and I hope you win all your 50/50s.